The Arctic wind howled across the desolate white landscape, whipping snow and ice into swirling patterns that obscured the horizon. Jay Park stood at the edge of the research platform, his thick thermal gear doing little to block the bone-chilling cold. His team had been searching this remote region for weeks, following a series of unusual electromagnetic readings that suggested something extraordinary lay buried beneath the ancient ice. The scanning equipment chirped softly, its green digital display flickering with data that made no sense. Metallic signatures mixed with organic readings created a puzzle that defied conventional understanding. Jay's fingers traced the holographic interface, zooming into the anomalous zone deep underground. "Something's down there," he muttered to himself, his breath forming tiny crystals in the frigid air. The drilling team prepared their specialized thermal equipment. These weren't ordinary exploration tools. They were designed to cut through layers of ice that had remained undisturbed for potentially thousands of years. Each piece of machinery represented millions in research funding and years of technological development. As the first drill bit penetrated the ice, something unexpected happened. The ground didn't just crack, it seemed to respond. Subtle vibrations rippled through the surrounding terrain, almost like a sleeping creature stirring after a long hibernation. The team's lead geologist, Min Ho, watched the readings with growing excitement. "These frequencies, they're not natural," he whispered, adjusting his thermal goggles. Hours passed. The drill continued its steady descent, cutting through layers of compressed ice that held secrets from millennia past. Temperature readings fluctuated wildly. One moment stable, the next dancing between extreme variations that made no scientific sense. Then, suddenly, a metallic reflection gleamed within the ice. Not a random mineral deposit, not a geological formation. Something manufactured. Something deliberate. The drill's heat revealed the outline of a massive structure. Smooth surfaces reflected light in geometric patterns that suggested intelligent design. Its edges were too perfect, too precise to be a natural occurrence. "Stop," Jay commanded, his voice cutting through the mechanical drone of the drilling. "Equipment." The team froze, watching in collective amazement as more of the structure became visible. It wasn't just a structure, it was a vault. A perfectly sealed chamber that had remained hidden beneath Arctic ice for who knew how long. Thermal scans revealed something even more incredible. Inside the vault, something was alive. Not just preserved, but potentially waiting. A heartbeat. Faint but detectable. A human heartbeat. The research team exchanged looks of disbelief. How was this possible? A living organism, perfectly preserved in a technological marvel buried beneath centuries of ice. Minho's hands trembled as he adjusted the scanning equipment. The preservation technology, it's beyond anything we've ever seen. This isn't just advanced, it's miraculous. Jay understood the implications immediately. Whatever was inside that vault represented a technological breakthrough that could revolutionize human understanding of cryogenic preservation, potentially offering solutions to medical challenges that had plagued humanity for generations. But something else nagged at the back of his mind. The vault's design, the precise engineering, the impossibly advanced preservation technique, this wasn't just a scientific marvel. This was a message, a deliberate act of preservation that suggested someone or something wanted this particular specimen to survive. As the team prepared specialized cutting equipment to safely extract the vault, none of them realized the magnitude of what they were about to unleash. The sleeping figure inside represented more than just a scientific discovery. It was a weapon, a living, breathing instrument of potential destruction that had been waiting, patient and calculating, for the right moment to awaken. And that moment had finally arrived. The ice cracked. The vault's outer layer began to shimmer. Something was stirring inside, ready to be reborn into a world that had long forgotten its existence. Humanity's most dangerous secret was about to be revealed. The vault's inner chamber hissed with pressurized air, steam billowing around the cylindrical preservation unit. Jay Park and his team watched in stunned silence as the medical stasis pod slowly opened, revealing its mysterious occupant. A woman. Late 30s. Her body looked perfectly preserved, not a single sign of aging or decay. Cybernetic implants glinted subtly along her spine and temples, technology far more advanced than anything currently known. Her eyes opened, not slowly, not gradually, but with sudden, predatory precision. Elena Rodriguez, former military tactical engineer. Her first breath wasn't a gasp of confusion but a calculated assessment of her surroundings. Her brain, enhanced with experimental neural processors, began analyzing the environment within milliseconds. Oxygen levels, room temperature, electromagnetic signatures, potential threat assessments, all processed faster than any human brain could comprehend. The alien research team, believing themselves to be superior observers, stood frozen. Their scanning equipment continued recording, but their biological responses betrayed pure, unadulterated shock. Elena's muscles twitched. Decades of cryogenic suspension hadn't weakened her. Instead, her augmented physiology seemed to have absorbed and adapted to the prolonged dormancy. Each movement was calculated, precise, like a machine learning its operational parameters. Operational status, she spoke, her voice neither loud nor soft. Unknown. Potential hostiles. Confirmed. The research team's lead xenobiologist, who had initiated her revival, took an involuntary step backward. Something in her voice suggested this wasn't a standard human interaction. This was a tactical evaluation. Her cybernetic implants began, interfacing with the surrounding technological systems. Communication protocols, digital networks, scanning equipment. Everything became an extension of her enhanced consciousness. The aliens watched in growing terror as she systematically mapped their technological infrastructure. Their most advanced systems became transparent to her, like an open book being casually read. Elena's military training had prepared her for numerous scenarios, but this was unprecedented. An entirely unknown environment. Alien technology. Complete. Isolation from her original mission parameters. Yet she remained calm, calculated. Her neural processors began running thousands of potential scenarios simultaneously. Survival strategies, threat neutralization protocols, communication techniques, all processed in fractions of a second. The research team's communication systems suddenly flickered. Data streams shifted. Encryption protocols were being rewritten faster than their engineers could comprehend. "Who are you?" asked Kim Yang, the lead xenobiologist, his voice trembling. Elena's response was neither a direct answer nor an evasion. Current objective: assess and survive. Her augmented body began generating its own electromagnetic field, interfering with the surrounding technological systems. The aliens' advanced scanning equipment started malfunctioning, displaying random data streams and corrupted information. Something fundamental had changed in the room. What began as a scientific exploration had transformed into a potential threat scenario. The aliens realized with growing horror that they hadn't discovered a preserved human specimen. They had awakened a weapon, a living, breathing technological marvel designed for survival and tactical superiority. And she was just beginning to understand the new world around her. Her implants continued scanning, analyzing, processing. Each second revealed more about her environment. Each moment made her more dangerous. The vault that was supposed to be her tomb had become her launching platform. Humanity's most advanced biological weapon was now fully operational, and the aliens, who awakened her, were about to discover the true meaning of technological superiority. The room grew colder, not from the Arctic environment outside, but from the calculated presence of Elena Rodriguez. The alien research vessel hummed with advanced technological systems, each component designed to represent the pinnacle of their civilization's engineering. But Elena Rodriguez was about to demonstrate how quickly superiority could be redefined. Her cybernetic implants moved faster than the aliens could comprehend. Within minutes, she had mapped their entire communication network, identified critical, system vulnerabilities, and prepared multiple contingency strategies. The first breach happened silently. No alarms, no warning signals, just a subtle shift in data streams that the alien crew didn't immediately recognize. Their advanced firewalls, which had protected them from countless external threats, crumbled like paper against Elena's neural processing capabilities. She didn't just hack their systems, she understood them. Each technological barrier became a language she could speak, manipulate, and ultimately control. The ship's secondary communication arrays began transmitting random data bursts. To the untrained eye, it looked like technical interference. But Elena was crafting a subtle psychological warfare strategy, sending encrypted messages that suggested an imminent human response. Kim Yong watched in growing terror as their most secure systems became compromised. His species had encountered numerous technological challenges before, but this was different. This was a level of intrusion that defied their understanding of technological limitations. Elena's augmented brain processed information at speeds that made quantum computing look primitive. She wasn't just accessing their systems. She was rewriting them, creating backdoors and strategic access points that would remain undetectable until she chose to activate them. The ship's central navigation system flickered. For a brief moment, it displayed coordinates that made no sense. Impossible jump points that suggested humanity possessed technological capabilities far beyond what the aliens had ever imagined. Tactical projections began appearing on their main display. Simulated human fleet movements, advanced weapon signatures, technological configurations that seemed to break known physical laws. Most were fabrications. Carefully constructed illusions designed to instill maximum psychological impact. But the aliens didn't know that. Each system Elena touched became a potential weapon. Communication networks transformed into psychological manipulation tools. Navigation arrays became platforms for strategic deception. Even their life support systems were subtly adjusted, creating an environment of growing tension and uncertainty. The ship's junior technicians began reporting unexplained system anomalies, temperature fluctuations, random data streams, communication interruptions that lasted milliseconds but felt like eternities. Their confidence rapidly transformed into pure, unadulterated terror. Elena moved with mechanical precision, her body, a perfect fusion of biological adaptability and technological enhancement. Every action was calculated, every movement had purpose. She wasn't just surviving. She was demonstrating humanity's potential for technological adaptation. The alien crew's most advanced diagnostic tools began producing conflicting reports. Some suggested a massive external threat. Others indicated internal system compromises. The uncertainty became a weapon more powerful than any physical attack. Within hours, Elena had effectively paralyzed their technological infrastructure without firing a single weapon. Their most secure systems were now potential Trojan horses, ready to be activated at her discretion. The research vessel, once a symbol of their technological superiority, had become a psychological prison, and Elena Rodriguez was the architect of their growing nightmare. Her final message was simple and terrifying, transmitted through their own communication systems, encrypted in a way that would take decades to fully decode. Humanity awakens, humanity adapts, humanity survives. The aliens now understood a fundamental truth they had overlooked. Technological superiority wasn't just about advanced systems. It was about the capacity to understand, manipulate, and ultimately control those systems. And in Elena, they had discovered the ultimate expression of that principle. The alien crew's communication channels became Elena's primary battlefield. She didn't need weapons. Her mind was the most dangerous instrument aboard the ship. Every transmission she allowed to pass through their systems carried subtle psychological triggers. Fragments of decoded messages suggested massive human military preparations. Encrypted, data streams hinted at technological capabilities that seemed impossible, yet just believable enough to create maximum uncertainty. Kim Yong watched his fellow crew members slowly unravel. Their confident postures became hesitant. Their strategic discussions dissolved into paranoid whispers. Elena was attacking their psychological infrastructure with surgical precision. She understood something fundamental about intelligent species. Fear is more destructive than any physical weapon. The ship's junior communications officer began experiencing unexplained anxiety attacks. Random memory fragments would surface, fabricated scenarios showing human technological supremacy that Elena carefully implanted through subtle neural manipulation. Navigation systems started displaying phantom fleet movements. Holographic projections showed impossible human spacecraft configurations that defied known physical laws. Each image was designed to create maximum psychological impact. Elena's augmented brain processed thousands of potential psychological warfare scenarios simultaneously. She wasn't just blocking their communications, she was reconstructing their entire understanding of potential threat landscapes. Crew members began questioning their mission parameters. Were they researchers or potential invasion targets? The line between reality and carefully constructed illusion became increasingly blurred. Their medical scanners detected increasing stress hormones among the crew. Cortisol levels spiked. Sleep patterns disintegrated. Rational thinking gave way to collective paranoia. Small systems began malfunctioning. A temperature control unit here, a communication relay there. Nothing significant enough to trigger immediate repairs, but enough to create a constant sense of underlying technological vulnerability. Elena understood that true psychological warfare wasn't about direct confrontation. It was about creating an environment of constant low-grade uncertainty. The ship's command structure started fracturing. Senior officers argued about potential responses. Junior technicians became increasingly suspicious of their leadership's decision-making capabilities. Holographic threat assessments would randomly appear, showing potential human response scenarios. Each projection was more terrifying than the last. Massive fleet movements. Technological configurations that suggested humanity possessed capabilities beyond current understanding. Most were complete fabrications, but perception becomes reality. The aliens' most advanced psychological evaluation systems became compromised. Their own diagnostic tools now generated reports that suggested an imminent, overwhelming human response. Elena's augmented brain worked like a complex chess master, moving psychological pieces across an invisible board. Each transmission, each intercepted communication, each subtle system manipulation became a strategic move designed to maximize uncertainty. She wasn't just surviving. She was demonstrating humanity's capacity for adaptive psychological warfare. The crew's collective mental state transformed from scientific curiosity to pure, paralyzing terror. Their technological superiority complex crumbled under the weight of manufactured uncertainty. Whispers began circulating about a potential human invasion. Rumors of advanced weaponry, suggestions that this single human specimen might be a precursor to a much larger, more terrifying force. Elena controlled the narrative without firing a single physical weapon. Her final psychological stroke was subtle yet devastating. She allowed a single encrypted transmission to partially leak, suggesting that humanity had been monitoring this specific alien research vessel for decades. The message was clear. They were never in control. They had been observed, studied, evaluated, and now they would be judged. The psychological battlefield was complete. The aliens' technological superiority had become their most significant weakness. And Elena Rodriguez was the architect of their growing nightmare. The final transformation happened quickly. Elena's neural interface merged completely with the alien vessel's core systems, turning their most advanced technology into an extension of her own tactical consciousness. Remaining crew members watched in horrified silence as their ship became something entirely different. Control panels shifted, navigation systems recalibrated. Every technological component responded to her thoughts faster than biological command structures could comprehend. She wasn't just controlling the ship, she was becoming the ship. Cybernetic. Implants expanded, interfacing with alien technological networks with surgical precision. Each connection revealed new potential. Each system became another weapon in her growing arsenal of technological domination. The vessel's primary navigation computer began plotting a course, not back to the alien homeworld, but toward human-controlled space. Her objective was no longer survival. It was strategic reconnaissance. Kim Yong, the lead xenobiologist, realized too late what they had awakened. This wasn't a preserved human specimen. This was a living weapon system, perfectly designed to adapt, survive, and ultimately conquer. Elena's augmented consciousness processed millions of tactical scenarios simultaneously. Communication protocols, potential defensive strategies, technology, integration possibilities. All calculated in microseconds. The ship's energy systems transformed. Alien power generators were reconfigured, their output maximized beyond original design specifications. Weapon systems that were once defensive became potential offensive platforms. Crew members found themselves gradually pushed out of critical, operational zones. Their own technology was turning against them, redirecting control sequences, limiting their access to primary systems. She wasn't just taking control. She was systematically dismantling their entire technological infrastructure. Holographic displays began showing potential human expansion scenarios, fleet movements, technological configurations that suggested humanity possessed capabilities far beyond current understanding. Most were fabricated, but perception becomes reality. The vessel's communication arrays started broadcasting carefully constructed messages, partial transmissions, encrypted data streams, each communication designed to create maximum psychological uncertainty among potential alien monitoring systems. Elena's final strategic move was elegant in its simplicity. She transformed the research vessel from a scientific exploration platform into a potential Trojan horse, a technological probe ready to infiltrate alien communication networks. Her augmented brain understood something fundamental. Conquest isn't about destruction. It's about information, integration, adaptation. The remaining alien crew could only watch as their most advanced technological marvel became a weapon against their own civilization. Every system, every network, every potential communication channel was being systematically analyzed, mapped, and ultimately controlled. Survival protocols activated. But they were futile. Elena Rodriguez had become something beyond human, beyond alien. A perfect fusion of biological adaptability and technological supremacy. The ship's final destination wasn't just a physical location. It was a statement, a warning, a demonstration of humanity's ultimate potential. As the vessel's systems fully synchronized with her neural network, a single message was encoded into its communication arrays, a message that would echo across potential alien monitoring systems. Humanity awakens. Humanity adapts. Humanity conquers. The research vessel disappeared into the vast darkness of space, carrying with it a living weapon.